Hi, my name is Mia Jan. Welcome to my channel. So you've decided to take the big leap and start teaching English in South Korea, but how exactly do you do it? And today in this video, I'm going to break down all the steps, everything that you need to do step by step, and all of the documentation that you need to prepare in order to start your teaching journey in South Korea. So as a teacher that has been living in and teaching in South Korea for the past 5 to 6 years, I know the entirety of the process, and I'll try to break it down for you as simply and as clearly as possible. So let's do this. Go. So in order to start teaching in South Korea, you need the correct visa, which is called the E21 visa. And this guide is actually going to be only for private schools and not public schools in Korea, so keep that in mind. In order to receive this visa, you need to be a native English speaker and have received your university degree from one of the 7 countries, which are US, UK, Canada, Australia, Ireland, New Zealand, and South Africa. So in order to apply and get a job inside a Korean academy, in ESL Academy in South Korea, would be to use a recruiter. That's how I did it. Using a recruiter is quick and easy and really convenient. So that's how I did it. Go ahead and search up some. Well, a lot of these job sites actually are posted by the recruiters. So then they're going to contact you and actually tell you a lot of the things that you need. But yeah. So these recruiters are actually going to set you up for interviews with different schools, and let me tell you, getting a job through these recruiters is not actually too difficult. You'll get multiple offers from multiple interviews. It seems like this job is kind of in demand, teachers are in demand for this job. So I actually recently got accepted into a position. I'm super excited to go teach there again very soon. So step 1 in this exciting process is to collect and authenticate your documents. Make sure you prepare all of these documents before we move on to step 2, and the authentication or the apostilling process is probably going to take the longest. So here is a list of all of the documents that you're going to need. First is that you need a university degree. It must be a 4-year bachelor's degree at a minimum in any discipline. It must be from an accredited university, and your degree must be a notarized photocopy with an apostille. So take your degree to a local notary public. The lawyer will make a photocopy of it and notarize it. After your degree copy is notarized, take this to the Secretary of State, which is in the same state as the notary public, for apostille authentication. So 2 things that you need. First of all, you need to notarize your diploma, and second, you need to authenticate your diploma or apostille it by the Secretary of State. The second document that you're going to need is the FBI criminal background check. Your FBI check cannot be more than 6 months old when you are proceeding to step 2, which is applying for your E2 visa. Only FBI checks are accepted, and please note that this can take up to 2 months to process. I'll tell you a much shorter way to process, and have the results sent to you. After receiving the FBI check, get it apostilled through the Department of State in Washington, D.C. It can take up to 6-8 weeks. Again, I'll tell you how to do it in a much shorter time frame to get your apostille if sent through the mail. So be sure to either go in person or have a friend, relative get the apostille for you. There are also private companies which can get the apostille for you in only a matter of days. So I'll tell you how to expedite this process. First of all, in terms of the getting the criminal background check, I recommend that you go to a designated location by the FBI. They have several locations inside the USPSs where you can do a digital scan of your fingerprints, and then you'll get the results for that in less than 48 hours. I actually got it on the exact same day. Do not do a fingerprint. Do not do like a paper thing and then send it over, because that's gonna take over a month, trust me, and that's terrible. Just find the location that's approved by the FBI, a USPS location. Mine was one city away, which the other city was only like 40 minutes. It was about a 40-minute drive. So you go to that USPS, do a digital scan of your fingerprints, and receive your results same day or next day a lot of the times. So within 48 hours. The USPS is going to collect $50 for doing the digital fingerprints, and you also need to go on the FBI website and apply online first. There they'll charge you $18. So together you're paying $68 for just doing the FBI criminal background check, but trust me that it's worth it. So yeah, make sure you actually do an online application for the FBI background check, and once you receive a special confirmation number, then you can use that and take that to the USPS. And you don't need an appointment after you get the confirmation number. So you take the confirmation, you do the online application, you get the confirmation number, and then you take it to the USPS without an appointment. You pay the $50 and get those fingerprints done. The results will be out in less than 48 hours. The other way to expedite the FBI background check is after you receive the results, the PDF of the result, you can use a company. I'm going to recommend a company for you guys. It's called Monument Visa. So instead, if you do it by yourself, this process can take like over a month or 2 months, a crazy number like that. But if you use Monument Visa or a different authentication agency, then they will process the result for you in 10 days if you use the expedited version, the rush version. So, but sadly, you do have to pay like $100 in order to do this, but I think it's kind of worth it because you're going to receive offers from these schools, and they're going to want you to process this stuff as quickly as possible. So go ahead and pay that $100 in order to expedite your apostilling process for the FBI background check. That should take only about 10 days. For me, actually, they ended up saying that it's going to take 2 weeks. I'm actually waiting for my results right now. But yeah. Actually, if you include shipping, it's actually going to be $120. So keep that in mind. So the third document that you're going to need is called a health statement. This is a simple questionnaire form from the Korean government where you personally answer the questions. Once you arrive in Korea, a full blood test and a physical exam will be administered. The test will include testing for narcotics, TB, HIV, and other communicable diseases. Well, that's just later down the road. Once you arrive in Korea, you are going to do a health test there. But for now, you're just filling out a simple paper and answering the questions yourself, whether you have these diseases, and you're gonna check no for everything. Health exam. The health exam is later down the road. Don't worry about it. The health check, you just say no, you don't have any sort of diseases. And that's it. A very simple paper. The next thing that you need is a passport photocopy. This is a photocopy of the information page of your passport. Make sure you have at least 6 months on your passport before it expires, and make sure there's at least one empty page on your passport. Then the photocopy should be the main page with your picture and also the other page with your signature. So both of those pages should be seen. The next thing that you need is a resume. Print a copy of your resume. And like I said, after your recruiter sets you up with a school, you do an interview and you pass the interview, the school is going to send you a contract. you need the signed copy of that contract prepared. So the contract will be provided to you by email once you agree to the contract and the school accepts you as a teacher. So you need the school contract. The next thing that you're going to need is 5 passport size photos. These are standard passport photos, the same that you would need for a new passport. The photos must not be older than 6 months. And have 1 additional passport photo on hand for the final stage of the overall E2 visa application process, which is in step 3. So this actually brings us to step 2, which is sending documents to Korea in order to get a visa reservation number. Here is the list of all the required documents for the E2 visa application. Now this list is really similar to the previous list, so it has the same stuff with just a few additions here. Number 1, copy of the original degree with apostille. Number 2, 1 set of sealed university transcripts. Number 3, a notarized FBI check with the apostille. Number 4, a health check statement. Number 5, a photocopy of the information page of your passport. Number 6, a copy of your resume. Number 7, a signed copy of the contract. And number 8, 2 passport-sized photos. In terms of the sealed university transcripts, go ahead and request them from your university and make sure to not open the envelope. So these transcripts need to be sealed when they're sent over. But as you can see, the list is the same. We just added the university transcripts here. One thing to note is to not send your documents via USPS or Purolator, because delivery can take a really long time, 5 days to 8 weeks or more, and there's no way to keep track of the documents once they're in Korea, because these services, USPS and Purolator, can't track it within Korea. But once you send your documents, please retain a copy of your invoice with the tracking number of your package and the address you sent it to. So you need a tracking number to get a tracking number, because it's well worth it. It is going to be about $40 to $80 to send, depending on the weight and the company that you choose, but that sounds rather expensive, and it is, but it is well worth it when you're sending your authentication degree, transcripts, and background check. All of these things can take a very long time to replace, so I do recommend getting a a tracking number, and making sure that paying that $40 and $80. Your school will take these documents to the Ministry of Justice and Immigration in Korea to get a visa authorization number for you. Within 7 to 10 working days, the immigration office will issue a confirmation of visa issuance number, also referred to as the visa reservation number or visa confirmation number. The number will look something like this. So the first 4 characters are letters and the remaining characters are numbers. The school will then forward this number by email to you or your recruiter, and you will need this code to put it in your teaching visa application for the Korean consulate, which is going to be step 3. So step 3 is going to be submitting the E2 visa application with the Korean consulate. Now we move to this step, assuming that you have received your visa confirmation number, which is going to take about 7 to 10 days after your school received all your documents. If you don't have it, check with the placement coordinator, and with the school. Maybe the school didn't take it to immigration and stuff. So Korean immigration usually takes 7 to 10 business days to process applications in Korea. Now, once you have your visa issuance number, it is time to mail or take your application form and visa documents to the Korean consulate or embassy nearest to you. Check the links below to find out which office has jurisdiction for your state. I'm going to put the links below this video. E2 teaching visa application form. When you fill out this form, here are some fields in the application form that you might have questions about. The classification should be ordinary, unless you're a diplomat. The occupation is English teacher. The purpose of entry to teach English. Potential length of stay 1 year. Address in Korea, the same address to which you sent all your documentation. Who will pay for the expense of your stay? Employer. Guarantor or reference in Korea, same person to whom you sent all your documentation. Now take this visa application form and the required documents to the Korean consulate with jurisdiction for your state or area. You do need an appointment actually, so go ahead and go onto the website of your consulate that's nearest to you. Mine is in Los Angeles, so I actually went onto their website and they explained in detail how you should make an appointment. Now I checked and next day appointments were available, so you don't actually have to wait too long before you get that appointment. Okay, and here is the list of all the required documents to apply for an E2 visa at the Korean consulate. You need the completed E2 visa application form, which is on their website. You need a passport. Make sure you have your passport ready, that there's 6 months validity left on it, and there's at least one empty page. Make sure it's signed too. You need a photo. You will need to send a passport picture with your application. The next thing is the confirmation of visa issuance number. That's the one that you got from your school, from Korean Immigration. Fill in the reservation number at the top of the application form. You need your transcripts. Send 1 set of sealed transcripts to the consulate. You need the consul's checklist, a simple 2-page document required by the consulate. Also a fee. The cost will be $45 USD, cash or money order. And yeah, as an American, you are generally given a multi-entry visa immediately upon application, typically without having to ask for it. Make sure of this. If you don't have this multi-entry capability, your visa will expire if you leave Korea to visit Japan, Thailand, or elsewhere for vacation. Always call your consulate to ensure you are familiar with their procedures. Each consulate has different processing times from 1 hour to 5 days, so ask them when it will be ready and let us know as soon as you know so plans can be made. Now for me, my consulate in LA, they say 10 to 15 days actually, so it kind of takes a long time to process this visa. Now if you didn't go in person, call the consulate to make sure they received your documents. I recommend that you do go in person because they said it takes longer if you mail the documents instead of going there in person, and to find out when your visa will be ready. Now they may request an interview in person with the consul general if they need additional documents and proof. Your visa will be processed after that, but you are going there in person anyway. Once you have received your passport back with your E2 visa, you're all set to begin your journey to Korea. Yay! Yeah, your placement coordinator should have been working with you on arrangements for your flight arrival and your airport pickup. So your placement coordinator is your recruiter. Keep in touch with your recruiter so they can make sure all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. Yay! So now you're ready to take your next steps and actually fly over to Korea and start teaching. I know this sounded really long and complicated, you guys, but and it is as bad as it sounds, and it takes like months. So actually go ahead and start on this process early. Don't worry about getting a job and like spending all this money and then at the end not getting a job, because you probably will get a job. So go ahead and make that investment and pay for all the background checks, for all the fingerprints and everything in advance, because you shall be hired by a school, and then from then on you know, you're ready for your teaching journey. So I hope this video was really helpful. Go ahead and comment if you have any questions there. I hope I explained everything in detail. There are all the links for everything are down and at the bottom, so you can check everything out. But yeah, contact me if you have any questions, comments. So thank you so much for watching this video. This was Mia Jan, over and out. Bye.